1990 and 91.
Well, certainly some impressive action, and joining us a gentleman who won this event back in 1989, Tim Mayotte. Tim, Andre Agassi comes in here a little disappointed after some losses over in Europe.
Well, he really wants to make up for that, and that means good preparation for the U.S. Open. He's starting his hardcore preparation early. You know, the critics through the years have blasted Agassi for not being a consistent player. That has not been the case over the last 12 months or so, as Agassi has put together an amazing string of consistent performances. 16 straight tournaments. He's got to the quarterfinals or better. As you can see, 6 titles along and an amazing 70-9 record. But one of those semifinal losses must be one of the more disappointing performances in his career. That against Boris Becker at Wimbledon just a couple weeks back. Here, Agassi was totally in the driver's seat, up 1 set and up a break against Becker. It looked like he was going to cruise to his 10th straight victory over Boris Becker. But right here, Becker started to turn on almost in mock. Becker puts that forehand away. He got himself back into the match.
He did indeed, and Agassi was struggling all the way. This match point as Agassi goes out in the semifinals.
Becker ultimately went down to Sampras, but he really put it together here in the semis as Andre drives the forehand long, and a huge upset that put a real clinch in the style of Agassi, who is not playing quite as well now.
And Tim, even though he lost at Wimbledon, certainly Agassi remains at the top of the pack here. Here we see the top 5.
But there is a lot more pressure on Agassi now, as Pete Sampras defending at Wimbledon 3 times in a row, and all these other players know Agassi after the French and Wimbledon not winning either of those titles. He looks a little bit more vulnerable.
All right, he takes on a tough young player, Todd Martin, one of the biggest servers in the game. Does Martin have a legitimate chance tonight?
One of the things about Todd Martin is he is a very physical player. He can attack the net, get all over those short shots of Agassi. And because of that big attacking style, he can overwhelm Andre Agassi if he serves well. Martin, one of his vulnerable points is his net movement, but if he is serving well and covering the net like a blanket, he could beat Andre Agassi tonight.
All right, that is our matchup. Andre Agassi, the #1 seed, going against Todd Martin. We'll have it for you right here on Prime. Semifinal action coming up from Washington. Stay with us.
Mi amor, parece diferente esta noche.
Que no terminé de tipear el informe mensual de marketing. Es un plomo y me están presionando.
No te lo puedo creer. ¿Todavía no has oído hablar del nuevo software de reconocimiento de voz de IBM? Vos simplemente le hablas y te lo escribe automáticamente.
Estoy anonadada.
The day before our big trip, Frank announced we had to stay at hotel chains.
Are you serious, Frank?
Absolutely not, Frank.
No way, Frank.
We expected boring cookie-cutter hotels courtesy of Frank's new budget. But ITT Sheraton was no ordinary hotel chain. But we decided not to tell Frank that.
It's grueling, Frank.
It's a tough job, Frank, but somebody's got to do it.
ITT Sheraton. Our world revolves around you. Does it seem as though the world is being drawn together? Or have you simply discovered a better way to get around? Air France. Ask the world of us.
The Legg Mason Tennis Classic on Prime is being brought to you by IBM, Solutions for a Small Planet. By ITT Sheraton, for 75 years, the one to follow. And by Air France. Center court in readiness here. Electric atmosphere as Agassi warms up. And now let's head for our roving reporter, who's on hand, Linda Pence. Linda.
Well, thanks, Barry. I'm courtside with Andre Agassi's coach, Brad Gilbert, and he's really had quite an easy run so far, Andre, but different opposition tonight. How have you prepared him for the Todd Martin match?
Well, I mean, he played pretty routinely in the first 3 matches, but those don't matter. He's playing a good player in Todd Martin tonight who's got a big serve and a big return, and Todd's going to be coming at him differently than the other opponents, so I mean, he's going to really have to be sharp with his game, returning well, and making a lot of first serves.
Now, you've been credited with a lot of things in terms of Andre's rise to number 1. One of them has been improving his work ethics and his practice sessions. Do you feel like that's really paid off? I knew you were out here earlier today.
Well, you know, he's really gotten into his tennis, and he sees when he works hard in the practice, you know, he plays a lot better in matches, and he's so creative, and he likes, you know, when he creates in practice, it's able to happen in matches, and so he's just really into his tennis, and he wants to be the best he can be, and he knows by practicing harder, he plays better.
Well, if he wins tonight, there'll be the top 2 seeds in the final tomorrow. The last time that happens, I think you remember it well, Brett.
Oh, was that 89? Was I playing?
I think you were, and you were playing a colleague of ours.
Oh, man, was I playing Tim Mayotte? That was a tough beat. He was lucky. He was really lucky. I should have won that match. I got a terrible call 5-all in the third. I should have won that match.
Should have, would have, could have. Your favorite phrase. Thanks so much for joining us, Brad. Back up to you, Barry.
Well, I'm going to let it take Tim Mayotte. Tim, what do you say about that?
I don't remember any bad calls, I can tell you that much, Brad. Fair and square, 7-5 in the third as we take a look at Agassi looking very trim tonight. Black and white as the number 1 player in the world. Agassi with 27 titles throughout his career, but interestingly, he has not won a ATP Tour title since he's been ranked number 1 in the world. That's for 14 weeks now. And Agassi will start having to get some tournament victories under his belt if he's going to retain that number 1 ranking.
Agassi toweling off, getting ready for this big match tonight, a semifinal against Todd Martin. He would love to get into the finals where Stefan Edberg awaits, downing some water, and Donald, he'll have to have a lot of water in that system tonight because we've got some very humid weather. As we look at Todd Martin now, going over the number 4 seed. Certainly Martin, a talented young player, but the question is, does he have enough talent to knock off the number 1 seed?
Well, he, like Agassi, is 25. He's ranked 19. He turned pro in 1990 out of Northwestern University. He's won 4 singles titles. I think one of the major ones was in Memphis that we showed you earlier, the Open indoor there. And he's over $2 million in prize money. But I like his chances, Barry, it's a big if he can serve well the first ball. He's got to get a high percentage of his first balls because he's going to have to come in to beat Agassi, and he can't beat him coming in on second serves.
Martin to serve now. First game, first set. This is best of 3. The winner will move into the finals. This is a hard surface here. DecoTurf, very similar to the surface used at the U.S. Open. That was long. These guys have played quite a few times, 9 to be exact. Agassi leading it 5-3. Last time they met was in Paris at the indoor there. Agassi won rather handily there, 6-2, 7-5. Martin only getting 7 games over in Paris. Solid serve, as you mentioned, Donald. He's going to have to come in with a lot of first serves, in my opinion, to keep Agassi off balance on that return.
The other key is that he will, let's take a look at Norm Christ in the chair. Martin, I think, will have to take the short second serve of Agassi and come in behind it in his returning games. I think those two are the big factors. His first serve, Martin's, and his return of serve against the Agassi's second serve.
Todd Martin moving into the semifinals here. Had some little bit of trouble there with Byron Black, one of the best doubles players in the world.
That was a good match, and he also knocked off Stoltenberg, who's been to the finals here before, in the quarterfinals yesterday, which was a rather surprising win that easily.
Todd Martin, second serve now, leading 30-15. Right on the sideline, Agassi with that huge angle.
And you got to get a protractor out to measure that angle. An amazing breaking forehand, and Agassi with that signature open stance outside of the doubles alley.
And there's the creativity that Brad Gilbert was talking about a moment ago. Nobody else even tries that kind of shot. And Agassi flips it over there with the topspin.
Martin all over the high forehand volley. He's going to have to play like that. Andre Agassi moving into the semifinals. Gilbert, that's not Gilbert, that's Rodolphe Gilbert.
And then Michael Joyce in a rather easy win last night over Mauricio Haddad, who had upset Aaron Krickstein earlier. Krickstein led 4-love in the third set and lost that match to Haddad.
The cat, they call him, from Colombia. Mauricio Haddad. We saw him in Bermuda. We named him in Bermuda. Had a tough match there, but beat Frana in the final. You're going to hear more from him. Another look at Agassi.
Andre moving to his right nicely, comes whipping through. When you watch him come through with the forehand, he really brings the racket head through so quickly and disguises it very well.
Forehand goes over the baseline, and so Todd Martin again with a chance to get on the board early here.
Agassi definitely has the greatest racket acceleration I've ever seen in any player, particularly off that forehand side. Such fast hands. That's how he generates that big pace.
And he's so quick, Tim, that he uses the racket head almost like a slingshot. I mean, he whips it, and that just accelerates and makes the speed with the topspin control.
Down the center, a miss hit from Agassi, and so Todd Martin gets on the board in the first game. Martin, 1-love. This is best of 3 from Washington. Stay with us.
Gentlemen, I hear automotive opportunity somewhere.
Where?
By the time these guys notice that automobiles aren't just a necessity.
This way?
Maybe. But an opportunity.
That way?
I don't know. The best opportunity in the business will be gone.
Where?
Right there. Because ITT Automotive already supplies parts to every major car maker on the planet. For 75 years, ITT, the one to follow.
Are we all set?
Yeah, ready.
All set.
Just that length?
Yes.
Straighten out, please.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Can we get 2 PA stats? Left side, left side.
Can I have a clip? Right side. Scissors. Tie right. Tie right.
Keep going. Keep going.
We got good pressure. Good pressure.
Holding steady. Looking good.
When sports cream? When arms are sore? When legs ache? When muscles hurt? Why sports cream? Massaging sports cream in brings fast pain relief. No medicine-y smell. No odor. Why sports cream? Because it works.
Yo, check this out.
Andre Agassi, who became #1 in the world on April 10th, and we asked him, what's it like to be the best player in the world?
It's kind of interesting to me how nothing really changes out there on the court, you know. I mean, I guess in a way you shouldn't expect it to, but by the same token, part of you, you know, oh, I'm #1, but you can't lose sight of the fact that every person's out there to beat you, you know, and if you're the slightest bit off your game and they're swinging from the hips because they have nothing to lose, you're going to put yourself in a difficult situation. So I basically try to forget about being #1 on the court when I'm out there, unless I get way down in a match, and then I remind myself, you shouldn't lose this, you know, you're #1, you know. But that's the only time that it'll even cross my mind when I'm out there.
It's interesting that the only time he thinks about it is when he gets in trouble. It's a good point, though.
I think when you are #1, though, you do get some free points. There is a psychological edge when you're playing lower-ranked players. It's like when you're going against a heavyweight champion, you have to beat him just that much worse for the guy to fall by the wayside.
Agassi in with another big serve, and wouldn't you say, Tim, that one of the biggest improvements in Agassi's game is that first serve?
Absolutely, he has a lot more power on it. I'd love to see some old footage of Agassi back in '88, '89 when he was just breaking on the scene. He did not have the kind of pace he has now.
Both Agassi and Michael Chang have improved their first serve. Well, there have been some fabulous players that have held that #1 position through the years, and certainly one of them, Ivan Lendl there. What a run he had.
Well, it's phenomenal if you look at Connors and Lendl, 270 weeks in a row at #1, not consecutive, excuse me, but 268 for Connors, and then McEnroe, only 170, and Borg, the great Borg, 109. That's Agassi's only been there 14 weeks at number 1.
And Sampras looking pretty good now. Only 100. He's only 25 years old, is Sampras, and he's got 101 weeks already at number 1 in the world.
Andre Agassi, who, as you mentioned, Tim, way back in the late 1980s, I should say, certainly did not have a big serve. Here's a look back at Agassi against Grab right here in Washington, Donald, 1990.
Look at the long hair.
There it is, third title of the year for
a different looking Andre Agassi as he defeated Jim Grab 6-1 and 6-4. A new look for Agassi as we see him tonight. Totally different. Well, one thing that's very noticeable is the hair, obviously. Or the lack of hair. Martin now, 15 love, 1 game off.
Agassi looked like such a little puppy back then in 1990, and you get the sense that he's really just kind of grown into his own as a man out there on the tour, much more in control of himself.
He doesn't look 25 today either with that hairstyle.
Wow, the high breaking serve from Martin. And Tim, I think he's going to have to use that a lot tonight.
This is a very gritty, slow court, and one of the most effective serves is that kicking serve out wide. Todd Martin, one of the tallest guys in the tour at 6'6", can really break that serve off the court.
30 love now. Martin trying to get to 2-1. Just wide. Martin has an interesting style. Very smooth, never seems to get rattled. Takes his time, sets his own pace. Ooh, wide open court, goes for the forehand, overhits it. You think there's a tendency to overhit against Agassi, Donald?
No, I think he just rushed himself trying to get into the net, Barry. He seemed to be in a hurry and didn't really plan himself. He was rushing into the net before he came through the ball.
It's wide, the linesman behind Agassi there, getting that angle on that sideline. You see his feet. Ooh, Martin tries a big second serve down the middle. Double faults. His first of the evening, and that'll hurt him.
Gives you an idea how humid it is on the court. Here we are in the 3rd game of the match, and Martin already going to the towel.
Well, I can bet you one guy that's not exerting too much energy tonight, and that's Stefan Edberg. He gave it all this afternoon. Just long.
Here's the great strength of Agassi. You see here Todd Martin hit a beautiful first serve. Agassi timed the return perfectly. The ball came back so fast that Martin couldn't control the volley.
And what's amazing about Agassi is off the biggest first serves in the game, he takes a full swing on the return.
Yeah.
Break point for Agassi. 1-all.
Slapped that one again. He's not blocking the return. He's stroking it. Boy, do you have to be fast with that, those hands to do that.
Oh, yes. Martin barely finishes his swing, takes a couple of feet in, and gets past.
Watch Agassi take the racket all the way back as he strokes this forehand, and he is way inside of the baseline when he makes contact. That serve, 107 miles an hour.
Catches the tape, and so Andre Agassi draws first blood. He breaks serve in the 3rd game of the first set. Agassi now 2-1. We're at the H.G. William Fitzgerald Tennis Center in Washington. Stay with us. Agassi 2-1 in the first.
Does it seem as though the world is being drawn together? Or have you simply discovered a better way to get around? Air France. Ask the world of us.
You stand there, looking across the net. It's all reflex, anticipation, power, placement. All season on this regional sports network.
Baseball, it's just a game as simple as a ball and bat, and yet as complex as the American spirit it symbolizes. It's a sport, a business, and sometimes almost even religion. This is a game for all America, this baseball, a game for boys and girls, for the young and old, and for the young at heart.
Ernie Harwell on baseball, Sunday night on Pass Sports, the source for Michigan sports.
This was 1988 here in Washington. Jimmy Connors at the top of your picture going against Andres Gomez, and Connors won it here. His 109th career win of his fabulous career over Andres Gomez. What a match that was, Donald.
Well, what a match it was to see Jimmy Connors win his last ATP men's title. He's still playing great in the Legends Tour today, but boy, he was a dominant factor for 20 years in this game.
Famous Mr. G grabbed him with a towel there. And so Agassi now up 2-1 with a break. We're ready for the fourth game of the first set. Andre Agassi to serve. And Tim, you used to like to come in behind the second serve. How tough would it be to take Agassi's second serve and come in behind it?
It would be a lot tougher to try to come in off a long ground stroke rally, that's for sure. The shortest ball you're going to see against Agassi is that second serve, which obviously has to land inside of the service line. So I think good play from Martin there. Agassi will try to spin some serves out wide to pull Martin outside of the doubles alley so he can't come in behind it.
You sometimes just sort of wander and dream. Let's say Agassi was playing Gonzalez or Laver or Kramer. How would they fare against him?
Well, you saw those guys play more than I did, but I think Agassi would hold up pretty well against anybody who ever played the game because of the way he returns serve.
Martin missing with the forehand, and so Agassi now quickly to 40 love. These are the kind of games he loves to play in this hot, humid weather back here. He would love to hold at love here and go to a 3-1 lead.
And I'm sure Agassi would love to prove me wrong, Donald, but I would say that perhaps his only weakness, maybe he's not the greatest mental player. Guys like Gonzalez and Kramer were great mental competitors, as Borg and perhaps McEnroe and Connors were.
I'm not sure he's as quick as Laver, and that left-handed serve of Laver's might have bothered him an awful lot. But again, we're trying to compare eras just for fun, and I don't know. I just love to see the way Gonzalez played those big points. That first serve, the slice serve, then the flat serve. You wonder if he could break him up, Barry. You played all those guys on the Pro Tour.
Be an interesting matchup. I think Tim makes a good point. The guys that gave Gonzalez the most trouble were the great return of servers, Ken Rosewall being the best in that era. And Agassi certainly can return serve in the same kind of situations that Rosewall used to. Well, Todd Martin trying to get into this first set. He's down a break, but up 15 love, down 1-3. No call. Agassi moves over. Service ace for Todd Martin, his second of the evening. Good look at Martin's serve.
Now he has a very high toss because he's a big guy, 6'4", goes out of our picture, it's so high, comes through with his right foot, pushing off hard to get into the net. Service ace down the middle. I think the only problem with Martin, he's a little slow for a big guy. Lumbers a lot, Barry, but he makes it up with power. And he's a tremendous competitor. Wonderful guy off the court. Very popular on the tour.
Very similar to Edberg in competitive ways. He's quiet, yet he's always in there. Doesn't make a lot of noise, but
yeah, you don't hear any controversy. Exactly. He's not yelling and screaming, but he just winning matches.
Martin, 40 love. Agassi knows he has him in trouble. Waits for Martin to make the move and then hits behind him.
It's what Agassi does so well is he opens up the court, forces Martin to guess on either side, and then he goes cross court. Agassi just opens the court up so beautifully and then finishes off easily. Great timing. He comes up through the two-hander.
Martin with a solid serve, and so Todd Martin holds serve. Agassi leads 3-2. First set. We're at the Legg Mason Classic in Washington. Stay with us on Prime.
The greatest names in tennis are back. Jimmy Connors, Bjorn Borg, Guillermo Vilas, and more in hot tournament competition with big money at stake. It's the $3 million Champions Tour.
Can't get better tennis than you're seeing right now.
Caliber player, I think, has been fantastic.
These are the entertainers.
I'm pretty excited that they're coming here.
It's the Minute Champions, July 27th through the 31st at the Fairlane Club in Dearborn. 313-436-3007.
This is where it happened. I was lying in a ditch, face down, trying to breathe. I was lucky. Most people who get thrown from their cars have injuries so serious that their lives are never the same. A lot of them die, and like me, most of them weren't wearing a seatbelt. It's the simplest thing. Please buckle up every time. It can save your life.
Life. You're born, you're all potential like a blank slate. Fill it any way you want. You're like a lump of clay that can be molded into anything. Fill up your life. Just keep drugs out of it, huh? It's a life or drugs situation.
Todd Martin, one of the toughest players on the tour, seeded number 4 here, and a tough opponent here in the semifinals. Well, Andre Agassi says he likes to play tough players, and the tougher they are, the more he raises his game.
I just always feel like the guys' games are at an all-time high most of the time that I'm playing these players. It seems like everybody I play really is playing well, and you know, and anytime you play somebody that has a good amount of ability, you need to raise your game because there's always that possible embarrassment factor. You know, it's like when I play Pete, you know, I know that, geez, if I'm 80%, I could lose 2-2 to this guy. You know, and be embarrassed that I even showed up today. So it's kind of like that, and I feel a lot of guys, you know, give me the respect, and that's how I choose to look at it. They raise their level because they're showing me respect, and that's something I think I've felt for a while.
Of course, the rivalry between Sampras and Agassi heating up all the time, very close on the tour, Tim, and anything could happen any day with those two guys. Agassi changing up, trying to hit the topspin there.
But that rivalry is definitely something everybody who watches tennis will closely monitor as the summer unfolds. Sampras would dearly love to get back to that #1 spot. They played 3 times this year, Agassi winning 2 of those at the Australian Open and at the Lipton Championships.
Well, what a year Andre Agassi has had in 1995. Look back at the year, certainly very decisive.
48-7 record with 3 titles, including Australian, San Jose, and Key Biscayne. That's the Lipton and Australian, 2 of the great championships in the world. And of course, San Jose, Barry McKay, you're familiar with that one. He took over the #1 ranking on April the 10th and has been #1 for 14 straight weeks.
Jose, now called the Sybase Open out there in Northern California. Kicks off the year in 1996.
You know, I thought Andre made a very good point there about the better players respect him, they raise their level of play, and then he plays better. And that's really, to me, the big difference between tennis and golf. You know, you're not playing a guy in golf, you're playing the course, whereas in tennis, you really determine a lot by who plays you and how well they play. Big difference.
Well, he makes a good point, too, Donald. Every time he walks out to play, he knows that guy he's playing against is going for broke because he's got nothing to lose. He's playing the #1 player in the world. Miss it. And so Agassi looking strong, holds. It is now 4-2 in the first set. Semifinal action here as the coach of Andre Agassi behind those shades. Brad Gilbert looking on. Tim, you'd have to say Agassi's game has definitely improved since Gilbert came on the scene.
What Gilbert has done is made Andre concentrate on putting his shots together. How do you construct a point, open the court, move the ball around? Before, Agassi, I think, did not quite know how to use the great weapons that he had. Under Gilbert's tutelage, he's really put it together.
And I heard from Gilbert that Agassi used to go for so many big shots, and Brad said, hey, you only win 1 point, whether you hit it 300 miles an hour or whether you hit it 50 miles an hour.
Gilbert was the master at winning points hitting it less than 50 miles an hour.
Service ace from Martin, his 4th of the evening. He's going to have to serve some more of those.
Martin wants to chase that bird out of there. Stan Smith once served and hit a bird on the center court and killed it with a first serve.
Got a lot of boos that night, didn't he?
We got that on tape, showed it a few times.
Todd Martin now loosening up that big first serve, 110 miles per hour. A 116 mile per hour serve comes back twice as fast.
This is the strength of Andre Agassi. Off a booming first serve. Watch him move into the ball, off to his left there, but he uses his left hand well and just flicked that back, using the speed so well of Martin's first serve.
Another one. And that is the danger, Tim, of a big first serve. It comes back twice as fast.
And as the match goes on, Agassi gets used to the pace of a big server, and that spells trouble for Todd Martin. Just lacing the forehand return inside out, and psychologically that's crushing to a guy like Martin who lives and dies by a big first serve. Now Martin asks, what do I have to do to avoid a winner return?
Everybody keeps telling Martin he's got to serve well, hit first serves to win the match. Then Agassi returns like that. A little discouraging. That's his big weapon. First serve of Todd Martin.
High lob, and it will go long, and so Todd Martin holds, stays in this first set. 4-3 Agassi. He has the break. We are in our nation's capital. A look at the Lincoln Memorial. Stay with us. We're at the Legg Mason Classic in Washington.
The day before our big trip, Frank announced we had to stay at hotel chains. Are you serious, Frank?
Absolutely not, Frank.
No way, Frank. We expected boring cookie-cutter hotels courtesy of Frank's new budget. But ITT Sheridan was no ordinary hotel chain. But we decided not to tell Frank that.
It's grueling, Frank.
It's a tough job, Frank, but somebody's got to do it.
ITT Sheridan. Our world revolves around you.
I'm Carl Malone. I play power forward. It's a tough job, but I get plenty of help. I'm also a parent. That can be even a tougher job. And there's no training, no coaching, no playbook to study. So some of us are bound to have problems. That's where Healthy Families of America comes in. They reach out to families from the time babies are born to help them through the rough spots. Because sometimes you need a good coach to be a good parent.
Rockies Ball Club has battled all season, looking for a comeback win here today. Turning left field, going back. There's a left fielder. It's out of here! Grand slam homer, Adam Trammell.
the William H.G. Fitzgerald Tennis Center here in Washington, D.C. I'm Barry McKay along with Donald Dell and Tim Mayotte bringing you semifinal action from the Legg Mason Classic, the first hard court event of the summer season. On the left, the number 4 seed Todd Martin going against the number 1 seed Andre Agassi. Agassi leading 4-3 with a break in the first set. Andre holds up new balls. Tim, you love serving with new tennis balls, didn't you, at any point in a match?
Definitely a big advantage, although not so much so for a guy like Agassi, who does not serve and volley.
Martin going for broke, trying to win that point quickly. I think there's a tendency to do that, Donald, against Agassi. You don't want to get into too many rallies from the back.
Well, the problem is if you hit a short ball, you think he's going to hurt you with it, so you try to keep the ball deep and you overhit.
Agassi right into the body of Martin, jams him.
Must be a terrible feeling, Tim, you know, with Martin out there. He knows he's going to only beat him one way, and that way is at the net. He's not going to beat him from the baseline.
And it's not working.
He's got to adjust and somehow get in, maybe on the second serve.
Second serve here, 30 love. Ooh, Martin again overhitting on the return.
Martin continuing to struggle on the forehand side in particular. That is 9 unforced errors on the forehand wing. The guys in the locker room, including Gilbert and Agassi, know that that is definitely the weaker wing of Todd Martin.
Shot you have to hit, though, to win points out here.
This is the best forehand of the night for Todd Martin. Out wide, full stretch. Good racket acceleration. A good play to go behind Agassi, who loves to cover the open court. Good.
Oh, and Martin lines it up, overhits the forehand. And so Andre Agassi holds. It is 5-3 in the first set. Let's head now for our roving reporter, Linda Pence. Linda.
Thank you, Barry. Well, you were mentioning that Todd Martin and Stefan Edberg have a lot in common on the court. Well, that's also true off the court. Todd Martin, like Stefan Edberg, is a repeat winner of the ATP Tour Sportsmanship Award, won it for the second time this year. A real tribute from his peers. He was also elected ATP Tour Player Council President, and I think his peers really recognize the work he's done off the court with kids. He always shows up for Kids Day wherever he is, and he has his own National Junior Tennis League chapter at home in Lansing, where he does fundraisers for youngsters who don't get the opportunity to play tennis very often. Back to you guys.
Well, Todd Martin certainly is one of the most well-rounded scholar athletes out on the tour. And as Linda mentioned, he went to great lengths to put together a National Junior Tennis League program in his hometown, which he goes back and does clinics and exhibitions for all the time.
Follows up his 5th ace with a double fault. 15-all now. Agassi 3 points away from the first set. Martin would love to hold here.
Should be mentioned that Agassi is actually doing a lot for kids back in Las Vegas. He recently gave $1 million to the Boys and Girls Clubs in his hometown.
It's really fantastic, Tim. Not a lot of people know that or comment on that. Not many athletes in the world give $1 million to kids in his hometown. That's fabulous.
Martin right back with a deep serve to the forehand, and so Todd Martin now 30-15.
And actually Agassi is putting together a huge fundraiser in September in Las Vegas with Michael Bolton, Elton John, to raise more funds for the Agassi Foundation. He's really determined to help try to give back to some at-risk kids in Las Vegas.
Oh,
Agassi's giving away millions. I'm just trying to get McKay to pick up a dinner check. Andre attacking the ball. Comes quickly through with the racket. Settles in there nicely. Has the open court and just punches it very easy because the approach opened up the court so well.
They say the great Don Budge did not miss many volleys, but he didn't have to because his approach shots were so strong and so solid.
That's really the way Andre plays. You know, he gets that short ball, and then with the topspin, he hits it so hard and deep, he's got the open court on the first volley.
Big point for Martin here, trying to hold and make Agassi serve out the set. Ooh, it's going to go wide. Back to deuce.
Martin has trouble with this ball because it's right into his body. He didn't get out of the way of that return. Couldn't get good wood on that first backhand volley.
No call. Agassi looks back. He will change sides. And so Todd Martin in with ace number 6. Martin now tallying off, taking some extra time. Yes, down the center, ace number 7. And so Todd Martin stays alive in this first set. 5 games to 4. Agassi leads when we return. Andre Agassi will go to the far side and serve for the first set.
Along the northeast coast of Florida, there is a place where the sun mystically comes ashore every morning, and the people, they play all day long. And they play, and they play, and they play. Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida. Call 904-829-5681. It's the best you'll ever play.
Tennis Week magazine is not recommended for dabblers or dilettantes. It's for the sport's serious players and the people who control the game. In other words, there's no such thing as a friendly game to our readers. It's dead in earnest. Tennis Week is full of the game's business news, personal player interviews, up-to-date tournament draws, close-up picture flashes, inside stuff you can't get anywhere else. Tennis Week is read first because we come out first. Tennis Week is serious reading about serious tennis.
When sports cream, when arms are sore, when legs ache, when muscles hurt. Why sports cream? Massaging sports cream in brings fast pain relief. No medicine-y smell, no odor. Why sports cream? Because it works.
January 1995, Agassi and Sampras in the finals of the Australian, and Agassi a winner in 4 sets down there in Melbourne, 6-4 in the 4th set. He really put together quite a list of wins, finishing with Sampras, and here we are with Agassi serving 5-4 in the 1st set in Washington, trying to close out Todd Martin. Andre only losing a couple of points on his serve, very impressive.
Yeah, Martin has to figure out some way to penetrate the Agassi serve. I think to come in behind the second serve is the best play.
Well, he's been missing a lot of returns too, Tim. Taking big swings, Martin has. Second serve. There's another error off what didn't look to be that tough a second serve. 15 love.
That's where he really gets hurt, when he makes a careless error off the second ball. It's his one chance to try and put pressure on Agassi.
Go wide. With a few errors from Agassi thus far in the set, 15 all.
But I think we'll see Martin continue to go for big returns off that second serve. He realizes there's a trade-off between hitting a lot of errors, but also he needs to get some good depth and pace on the return if he's going to force Agassi's serve.
Ooh, the forehand goes long.
That's the 10th unforced error now off the forehand side of Todd Martin.
Ooh, Agassi catching the tape.
This is Martin's really first even glimmer of hope to break the Agassi serve.
With that first serve, ace, his first of the match. What a time for it.
Nice little slice serve, Barry, off to the forehand side. Cut the corner of that service line.
Set point, Andre Agassi. Let and a fault. Just wide. Martin overhits, and so Andre Agassi has won the first set here, 6-4 at the Legg Mason Classic. And tomorrow we will have final round action. Stefan Edberg waiting in the wings for the winner of this match tonight. Championship match tomorrow from Washington. Check your local listings. We'll have it for you on Prime Tennis. First set to Agassi. Martin to serve. First game, second set. Martin starts off the set with a double fault. Not a good way to start, huh, Tim?
This is a pretty important game, too. Not to overplay it, but Martin needs to set a tone here. He's lost the first set, and he needs to really say to Agassi, I will not fold in the second set. I'm going to be here and really play well throughout this match. You're going to have to beat me.
And thus he can't afford to lose this game.
Or throw in double faults. Agassi has made a habit of going away in the second set this year, and so he would love to get an early break here.
Martin's best shots. I think it's safe to say Agassi one of the best front runners in the history of this game. I mean, he gets on a roll and he is tough to stop.
Let's see him here moving to his right. Todd Martin opens the court up. I think Agassi's a little slow there. And he just lunges at it as he slaps it wide. But he was a little slow foot.
15 all. Just long.
One of the few matches where Agassi hasn't been a great front runner was that semifinal loss against Boris Becker, where he was really in control of that semifinal match and seemingly just went into the deep freeze against Becker. He was up a set and a break, in fact 2 breaks, 4-1 in the second set.
Martin down the center with ace number 8. Andre having another look at that spot. Not sure he liked that call. There's Norm Christ in the chair. He will not overrule.
I thought the ball was right inside the line, Barry. We can't see it on that call, but Agassi clearly didn't see it that way.
Martin again down the center with ace number 9, and so Todd Martin gets out of some trouble, comes back strong to hold serve in the first game of the second set. Stay with us. We're on a hot, humid night in Washington. Todd Martin trying to get back in this match against the number 1 seed.
I smell business opportunity somewhere.
Where?
By
the time these guys notice how much opportunity the sports and entertainment industry holds,
This way?
I don't know. The most exciting opportunity of all
That way?
maybe will be gone.
This way? That way.
Because Madison Square Garden is already part of ITT. For 75 years, ITT, the one to follow.
When I think of
Being a fan is tough when your team isn't the home team, especially when I try to find coverage of my favorite team in the local paper. I'm lucky there's even a box score. Well, if you're like me, you'll be happy to know there's one publication that'll make you feel right at home. The Sporting News. You'll love the Sporting News no matter what team you love, even if it is the home team.
Call this number now and get 4 issues of the Sporting News free. You'll get opinions and strategies, transactions, trade rumors, injury reports, and the lowdown on the minors. Plus football, basketball, and hockey all year long. Call now and you'll get 4 free issues. If you like them, you'll get 24 more issues at this great TV price. If not, just mark the bill, cancel, and owe nothing. The 4 issues are yours to keep.
So call now for the Sporting News, the publication that treats every team like the home team.
Call now and get 4 great issues of the Sporting News free.
Call now 1-800-253-8005.
This is Prime's World. We play all day, every day. We play the zones. We play the cuts. After this message, Prime plays on.
The greatest names in tennis are back. Jimmy Connors, Bjorn Borg, Guillermo Vilas, and more in hot tournament competition with big money at stake. It's the $3 million Champions Tour.
Can't get better tennis than you're seeing right now.
Caliber player, I think it's been fantastic.
These are the entertainers.
I'm pretty excited that they're coming here.
It's the Medident Champions, July 27th through the 31st at the Fairlane Club in Dearborn. 313-436-3007.
What an amazing comeback from Michael Chang.
This place now, you could hear a pin drop. He'll get it.
Oh, Chang! Chang letting Agassi off the hook.
And he wins it. An unbelievable tiebreak.
It's the best spot to find out what's going on in the world of sports. The press box on top of all the action. Highlights, scores, interviews, and the inside scoop on the deals of the day. Tune into the box.
Press Box on Pass Sports, weeknights at 10 p.m. and 1 a.m.
Take a look at serve game comparisons. The big difference in this match so far, Todd Martin just cannot convert successfully on the second serves. As you look at it, Agassi winning 80% of his second serves, but Todd Martin below 30%. And Agassi just dominating when Martin does not get the first serve in. He is just punishing Todd Martin.
But you know, he is getting 70% of his
Yeah, I mean, Martin's serving pretty well.
It's amazing.
But when he sees that second serve Agassi does, he just punishes it, moving Todd Martin around in the backcourt.
Well, and as we said, the discouraging thing about playing Agassi is that so many balls come back, no matter how you're serving. Agassi now, 4th game, 2nd set, with the break and with the first set. Oh, yes, Martin climbs all over a short second ball. That's what he's going to have to do. Well, 56 players showed up here early in the week. We're going to show you now some results from the first round as this match moves along. Top 8 seeds receive the bye into the round of 32. Oh, and Agassi lines up what looked to be a fairly easy forehand, Tim, and then overhit the ball.
Martin was running to the open court where Agassi wanted to hit that forehand, and I think Agassi picked his head up at the last second and drove that ball about 10 feet long.
Now a big chance for Martin to get back in this second set. Love 30. See if he takes a chance on the return. High lob. It's good. No, Agassi going for it all, overhits the overhead. And so now Martin with 3 chances. Triple break point.
That high lob, though, is deceptively difficult to field, particularly right now in dusk. This ball goes up into the lights, and Agassi badly mistimes it.
This crowd coming to life for Todd Martin. They want him to get into this match. Yes, down the line. And Martin breaks him low. The best game he's played all evening. Todd Martin right back in this second set. 2 games all.
And the crowd really responded.
Well, should they ever? Now we're looking at second round scores from earlier in the week. Jamie Morgan, the Australian, losing to Michael Joyce. And there's the Cat from Colombia. A win over Aaron Krickstein. That's when he got it going. Go long, and now, Tim, we can see whether Martin can keep the momentum of that last game going on his own serve.
These guys played against each other last year, 94 at Wimbledon, and Martin prevailed in the 4th round in 5 long sets. Could be in the back of Todd Martin's mind right now.
So true. That was a big win for him at Wimbledon last year. 15 all.
Martin ultimately lost in the semifinals to Pete Sampras in 94.
His best effort at Wimbledon. These are now 3rd round results as Agassi continued to roll. Big win for Haddad there over.
Oh, baby!
You won't see a better return than that
one. This is just a slap shot. Oh. What is incredible is how he got so much power on the full stretch, way out wide.
Oh, man. Right in the corner.
Martin can't believe that. He just shook his head there in disbelief.
Sam, let me finish my swing at least.
He didn't even get the racket through on the serve.
Now quarterfinals. Todd Martin rolling over Stoltenberg.
It's a pretty good win there.
Stoltenberg last year's finalist.
And Rafter came on good against Patrick McEnroe.
Big second serve. And this was earlier today. Semifinal action. Edberg winning that tough match against Patrick Rafter. Todd Martin at 30 all now. 5th game, 2nd set. Big points. That court, he'll get it, and it's long. Martin overhitting with the forehand on what looked to be a fairly easy ball.
Well, hit the let cord and popped up. Martin had enough time to make his approach, but he overhit the baseline. This one hurts him because he gets to break point down. Now here he comes in, the ball's high, kicks up, and he just shoveled it over that baseline by about 2 inches.
So Agassi now with a chance to break 30-40. Oh yes, Martin digs out a low forehand volley. One of the best volleys Timmy's hit all evening right there.
A good combination from Todd Martin. He serves out wide, and against most players that would be a winning serve, but Agassi nails it at his feet, and Todd Martin with his best forehand volley of the night.
Yes, down the center. Ace number 10 for Martin, and what a time for it. Takes him to game point. That first serve. with a big first serve, and so Todd Martin holds. It is 3-2. Martin leading in the second set. He lost the first 6-4. Stay with us. We're at the Legg Mason Tennis Classic in Washington on Prime.
The day before our big trip, Frank announced we had to stay at hotel chains.
Are you serious, Frank?
Absolutely not, Frank.
No way, Frank. The expected boring cookie-cutter hotels courtesy of Frank's new budget. But ITT Sheridan was no ordinary hotel chain. But we decided not to tell Frank that.
It's grueling, Frank.
It's a tough job, Frank, but somebody's got to do it.
ITT Sheridan. Our world revolves around you.
Investing? They'll eat you alive. You'll never be able to retire. Your dog knows more about investing than you do. You'll never get a decent return. Wake up! You're having that retirement nightmare again. It's awful. Don't worry. MetLife has Preference Plus variable annuities. Tax deferred. Easy to understand, even for the cautious investor. Thanks, Linus. I'll look into it in the morning. Or sooner. Get Met. It pays.
Welcome back to center court here as Andre Agassi has won the first set 6-4, down 3-2 in the second. Agassi to serve now in the 6th game of the second set. Back on serve. There have been 2 breaks. Andre did not like the call on that serve.
One reason he's so upset is he knows that Todd Martin is going to be camping, trying to get a short second serve.
Bad error off that second ball.
I think right now, if Martin keeps some balls in play against Agassi, was Andre a little shook up after losing his serve with the break.
Too good. That's the shot that's so hard to hit. He hits it inside out, and Martin was caught flat-footed. But now watch the way Agassi, after the serve, moves to his left. Martin returning, kicks it way outside there with the high. Look at Agassi, inside out, goes behind Martin. Nobody else hits that shot like that, Barry.
Well, on the women's side, Steffi Graf loves to run around and hit that forehand, but she doesn't use that shot quite a lot. Pulls it wide. Again, the forehand letting him down, Tim.
It's not even so many the number of errors that he is missing by big margins. That one about 10 feet long. Just does not have the kind of timing that he does off the two-hander.
That first serve. Ooh, no call from the sidelines person there. That would have been an ace. Andre, I don't know. I'm not sure he heard the left.
Got any back there?
All of a sudden, we're not enough tennis balls out here to keep playing. Andre asking some of the crowd if they're hoarding some of those balls.
Well, the balls get, they should have 6 balls on the court. Agassi is right to complain. What happens is sometimes those balls go underneath the backstop behind the court and they get lost. And so right now these guys playing with only 3 balls.
Oh yes, Martin jumps all over the two-hander.
Martin again capitalizing on the short second serve of Agassi. At 6'6", that kicking serve doesn't go way above his shoulders like it does against most players. And
right down the center, Agassi knocks off the forehand. 3 games all now. second set. Agassi with the first 6-4. And tomorrow we will have the championship match right here from the Legg Mason Tennis Classic in Washington. Andre Agassi or Todd Martin going against Stefan Edberg, who is already there waiting for the winner of this match. Check your local listings. We'll have it for you on Prime Tennis. We have arrived at the famous 7th game, Tim Mayotte. Stan Smith says doesn't make any difference. It's no more important than any other game, but I disagree. I always think this game is crucially important. You seem like you disagree as well.
I think you and Stan are wrong. I actually think the first game of any set.
How can they both be wrong? They're saying different things. I'm trying to figure that out when I heard it.
Oh, you're saying the first game of any set. Huge, huh? Oh, Martin again missing with that forehand. Love 15.
He sure is sweating, working hard, Todd Martin. He'll lose 8 to 10 pounds out there tonight. That big frame.
Back with a huge serve right down the center, 116 miles per hour.
I guess he just slaps at those returns.
He goes for it. Yes. Ace number 11, right down the center.
In 8 service games, Martin has served 11 aces. It's about 1.5 a game. That's not too shabby against
the best return server in the game.
Exactly.
A solid shot now up the line.
Agassi really looked tired. He just stumbled after that. Didn't run at all. Now watch Agassi here. He returns the ball. Martin goes down the line. Agassi just kind of lunges at it. Didn't accelerate off the footwork at all.
Wow. It's long. So Todd Martin holds serve. 4 games to 3 now. Martin in the second set. He lost the first 6-4. Stay with us. We're on Prime Tennis. Semifinal action from the Legg Mason Classic in Washington. Agassi with the first set, down 4-3 in the second.
The problem is, the more income your investments earn, the more taxes are taken out. Which is why you should consider a tax-free investment from John Nuveen and Company. Because with Nuveen, the more you earn, the more you keep. Ask your investment advisor today about making Nuveen part of your tax planning strategy, or call this number.
The greatest names in tennis are back. Jimmy Connors, Bjorn Borg, Guillermo Vilas, and more in hot tournament competition with big money at stake. It's the $3 million Champions Tour.
Can't get better tennis than you're seeing right now.
Caliber player, I think it's been fantastic.
These are the entertainers.
I'm pretty excited that they're coming here.
It's the Medident Champions, July 27th through the 31st at the Fairlane Club in Dearborn. 313-436-3007.
Leslie Nielsen's Bad Golf Made Easier.
Billy, the reason the game is called golf is because all the other 4-letter words have been taken.
It's the new home video that teaches you the fundamentals.
The only really useful tip in golf is the one you give to the starter.
And how to play the problem lie. Call now to order Leslie Nielsen's Bad Golf Made Easier.
Call now to order Leslie Nielsen's Bad Golf Made Easier. Only $19.98. Call 1-800-253-8005.
Welcome back to center court. Earlier today, Stefan Edberg, the number 2 seed, at match point, knocks off an overhead, gets ready, another one goes up, and Edberg, exhausted on this match point, finally wins it, puts his racket on the court, and says, that's it. I'm going to have a little rest here. And so Edberg, tremendous win for him into the finals. He waits for the winner, and Todd Martin coming to life suddenly here. A winner up the line, Tim, with a forehand.
That hit-or-miss style of Martin's is starting to pay off now. He has been going for a lot off the Agassi serve throughout this match. It didn't work in the first set, but now he's finding his range. And it's a great effort from Todd Martin to be in this match. Agassi was totally in control in the early going. But he has stayed with it as these guys waiting for a fan to take his seat.
Poor guy is frozen there at the top of the staircase.
Well, if he stands there much longer, he's going to get a job as an usher.
Only in tennis.
Ooh, Agassi dishes up a double fault, the second of the evening, and it puts him down love 30. Suddenly a stir in the crowd here.
And these are the kind of situations that his coach, Brad Gilbert, would love to see Andre work through.
Good. The Agassi two-hander finds the net, and so now Todd Martin at triple break point. Chance to go up 5-3. As Gilbert a little anxious over there with his Oakland Raider hat on. Oh, and Agassi right back with his second ace of the night.
But he's still in deep trouble here at 15-40. And Martin could move into a 5-3 lead with his own serve.
He saves another break point. Still down 30-40.
Interesting to watch how Agassi sets up that point, moving Martin to the backhand 3 times and then going down to the forehand side, which is his weaker side.
Maybe the biggest point of the match right here for Todd Martin. And Agassi down the center.
Great serve. When he needs it.
We've been talking about the improved serve of Agassi, and one of the things he's doing well is he's picking his spots with that big flat one. He does not hit it all the time, as he's shown here tonight. Hit it. He goes for it when he needs it.
Oh, Martin pulls over the forehand. Again, the forehand lets him down, Tim.
Really, what is amazing is that forehand is way down to the net. That wasn't even halfway up on the net. Not an easy shot. Excuse me, not a difficult forehand.
Wide. Agassi going for another ace up the center. Pulls it wide.
Agassi got out of it. Love 40.
From love 40 down, Agassi gets even at 4 games all. He won the first set, 6-4. Martin will serve in the 9th game.
Continental Airlines' award-winning one-pass frequent flyer program now offers even more ways to earn free travel and upgrades. Continental, more airline for your money.
So Todd Martin now serving in the 9th game of the second set. Needs to hold here to go up 5-4. He is down a set. As he looks back on this match, he may recall that game when he had the love 40 chances there.
Martin yelled, good shot before the ball hit. Agassi is so quick in there, and that's a little like that shoulder rotation as he flicks it over his shoulder, comes around the shot. The hands are so fast.
15 all. Second serve now from Martin. Look at the concentration, those eyes of Agassi. catch off the two-hander. Martin trying to overpower that ball.
Both players go into the towel now to get a little refreshed. Awfully big point for Todd Martin fans. 15-30. 4-all, second set. Agassi would love to come around and serve out the match.
Would he ever? Big serve from Martin out wide. His 12th ace, and what a time for it. Just when he needed it.
Beautiful serve.
What's amazing about this serve is it's a flat serve, yet he gets tremendous break way outside. That ball landed well in front of the service line. Agassi on the full stretch can't even get his racket on it.
Martin's taking some extra time. He knows how crucial these points are. Trouble. Look out.
That return was right at Martin's feet. He pops it up. Look at Martin right there. He pops that up. He doesn't know quite what to do. Either way, Agassi can go and win the point, and he does with that forehand cross court.
Break point for Agassi here. And Martin right down the center. I'll say one thing for Martin. He is serving well when he's in trouble now.
Martin at 70% first serves throughout this whole match, which is a remarkably high percentage.
To be struggling the whole serve.
Yeah, exactly. When you're serving 118 miles an hour.
70% of the time. Not bad. Nobody else can make a shot like that, Barry. On the dead run, sharply angled, little wrist snap, and the ball is so crisply hit. That top spin. This is the #1 player in the world right here. Agassi. Look at it. He moves way out of court. Goes for the one open spot in the court with the top spin.
Again, break point, and again Martin in with a big first serve. I wonder what he's thinking, Tim, as he comes over. If he could just serve like that at deuce, or put two together.
Well, he did, but Agassi came up with the winner off a very solid first volley. I think Martin, though, has to be careful. He's now serving a lot of flat first serves, and Agassi gets a beat on that return. He might want to mix it up a little bit with a kicker.
No call.
Called it good.
Ooh, it was a close ball on that sideline. For a moment, I thought that ball was going to go wide.
This is a great serve because it's right into the body of Agassi. Normally a difficult serve to return. Just great reflexes on Agassi's part for the winner.
He's scrambling all over that backcourt.
Boy, that's great tennis. Martin having to hit 3 good shots to win the point to get back to deuce. Here's one, Agassi way out wide. Martin has a short ball and knocks it off. That's the 3rd point he hit to win this point.
It's deuce.
First time Martin missed a first serve in 7 serves this game.
Oh, he goes for a big second serve. Just catches the tape.
So once again, that Martin forehand just lets him down on the long exchange from the baseline rally. He just can't stay with Agassi on the baseline.
And it's 22 unforced errors off the forehand wing of Martin.
22? It's 4.5 games.
Martin again taking some extra time.
Unbelievable.
He's on it. And Martin, great anticipation off that backhand. I thought he was dead, Tim, on that point.
Yeah, he really did well just to shovel the forehand volley back off the spectacular return. But Martin, using his big frame, closed in extra tight. Obviously, the lob, in hindsight, here is the play because Martin was just camping on top of the net.
It's a good point, Tim. You know, Agassi hadn't lobbed much at all tonight, and he likes that topspin lob. He disguises it well. He just hadn't used it.
Just wide.
Probably, don't you think, because Martin's 6'6".
Yeah.
Pretty good reason.
Tough to get that lob up. But if anybody can do it, it's Agassi.
Just on the baseline. That one ball on the baseline, he hits the half volley. Very close, but it was good.
Agassi, they're playing like a boxer. He's jabbing, he's going right to the forehand side of Martin.
He opens the court up so nicely, swings him wide on the backhand side, then goes to the forehand with great pressure.
Incredible stat.
39-11 unforced errors.
Well, that shows you how well that Martin is serving just to stay in this match.
Exactly.
Once again, break point for the #1 seed. Oh, and Andre thought it was a fault. No call.
He's really upset. He wanted Chris to overrule it, but as a matter of course, Norm Chris rarely will overrule. Got to be an egregious error under the rules, whatever that means.
Sounds like a legal term to me. As Martin down the center again. Ace number 13.
What a tremendous game this 9th game is proving to be. Tell me something, Tim. Why, oh why isn't Todd Martin at the net? He keeps staying back in these long rallies. He's getting, killed.
But he missed the serve there, and he doesn't feel like he can come in off his second serve, so then he's forced to stay back and try to work in the net. And, of course, as we've seen all night, Agassi jockeys him around and opens up for the forehand winner. Now on their 6th deuce.
Wouldn't he be better off occasionally spinning a high kicker on the first serve, coming in very fast, rather than going for a big ace?
Or coming in on the second serve.
Yeah. Oh, and Martin looked like he was going to go for the ball. Suddenly took his racket off the ball. He could have made that shot, Tim.
Agassi mishit the backhand as Todd has a little laugh about that decision there, because clearly he had an easy play on a forehand volley, and he takes his racket back right there at the last second. But I think the mishit, he thought it was going to go long.
I thought it was going to go long. He couldn't believe how far it dropped in.
Again. Martin down the center with ace number 14. This game now over 10 minutes old, starting to rival that big game that the ladies had at Wimbledon.
It's the best game of the match, clearly. 14-2 in the ace department for Martin.
The 17th point of this game right here. Will go long. So once again. Todd Martin with a chance to go up 5-4. What do you think he'll do here, Donald? Down the center or out wide?
I think he'll go for a big first serve, but I'd like to see him spin it and come in. You know, you want to get to the net against Agassi, but what do I know? And now he's in trouble.
Yep.
Got to be a little tired after 18 points in this one serving game.
And finally, Todd Martin holds after 18 points. This crowd on its feet. A spectacular game. But Andre Agassi hangs in. He'll come over to serve to try and get even in the second set. Martin up.
I'm Bob Knoll. My official title is head of auto testing for Consumer Reports magazine, but I really work for you. And there are over 200 people who work for you at Consumer Reports. We test and report on everything from toothpaste to TVs. Right now is a good time to try Consumer Reports. Here are the details.
Subscribe now and get the 1995 Buying Guide issue and How to Clean Practically Anything free. Call now for your free books and Consumer Reports, the magazine that compares products by brand name, shows you which models have the features you want, plus all the pros and cons, including price. Get 12 issues plus the 1996 Buying Guide issue for just $24. Save more than 60% off the newsstand price. And the 2 books are free with your paid subscription.
So put Consumer Reports to work for you. Call now.
And if you prefer to order by credit card, have your Visa or MasterCard ready.
Call 1-800-253-8005.
Expectations are running high as the Lions open training camp. The Tigers change their approach, plus the hot shots from the British Open. Sports Final Edition, Sunday night at 11:30, only on WDIV-TV, Channel 4 in Detroit.
30-15.
And a really solid effort here from Agassi after letting that last game slip away. He's gotten all his first serves in, played solid tennis. The 1 point he's lost was off a Martin winner.
Oh, and a double fault. Agassi going for a lot on that second serve, which is up double fault number 3. Two-hander catches the top of the net. And so Agassi holds. We are at 5 games all. Second set. Well, as we look at the draw here, you can see Edberg out there waiting for the winner of this match, Agassi or Martin. Agassi beating Haddad back in that quarterfinal action. But certainly Stefan Edberg's got to be enjoying his rest tonight after a tough afternoon.
Edberg's had a much harder road to the final, though, Barry. He was down 5-2 against Karate in the quarterfinals, and he won a tough 3-setter this afternoon over Patrick Rafter. So I assume he's home resting.
And Agassi starts strong here now. Love 15. He would love to break and go over and close out this second set and the match.
I think Andre is saying to himself, it's time to take a shower. How do I get 2 good returns back to back? Boy, Martin really snaps that wrist and the ball comes shooting in there.
Ooh, net court. Into the open court.
This net is strung very tightly, and what happens is anything that comes off the top of it stands right up, works to Agassi's favor here. Mid-court, Martin has to guess, and Agassi does his favorite play, the inside-out forehand.
Todd knew he had no chance on that point, and so now trouble for Martin, down love 30. Oh, Martin thought he had the ace out wide. Called a fault.
And let's see if Martin comes in on the second ball here, love 30, or stays back and tries to trade ground strokes. Double fault.
And he goes for a big second serve. His 5th double fault of the night puts him down triple break point.
That's what you call cumulative pressure. Agassi has been converting on the second serve of Martin all night long. Because of that, Martin goes for a little bit too much there.
Good eye from Martin. Just about ready to hit that forehand volley. Lets it go.
Two good first serves from Martin, keeping the pressure on Agassi.
Donald, that wasn't that great a first serve, really. Agassi's been returning like those serves pretty well all night long, only 102 miles an hour. Maybe Andre a teeny bit tight here.
Big point now for Martin to get even. And he does.
That shows me a lot by Todd Martin to come back against a good returner like Agassi. Love 40 down, and he's pulled it out to deuce. Let's see what he tries here on his first serve. Let ball.
Well, he has gone out wide quite a bit. Took a chance on that double fault, but I wouldn't be surprised if he swings this ball out to the forehand. Just inside the baseline.
Does Agassi look slow to you on this play?
Just a step there.
High toss, and snaps his wrist coming around the ball for the topspin, but he stays back. And here he goes right down the line. Good approach. He's coming in behind it, and Agassi did not move well for it. 4th point in a row for Martin.
Down the center, and Martin, with his 15th ace of the night, gets out of all kinds of trouble. Martin now 6-5 in the second set. Will it go 3? Stay with us. We'll find out. Agassi with the first set. Martin on a roll.
Gentlemen, I see the future of insurance.
Where?
Right there.
To find opportunities in insurance, these guys could follow the trends. This way?
I don't know.
Follow the financial pages. That way?
Maybe.
Or follow the company with 70 billion in assets.
Where? Right there.
The company that's always one step ahead. ITT Hartford. For 75 years, ITT, the one to follow.
Tennis Week magazine is not recommended for dabblers or dilettantes. It's for the sport's serious players and the people who control the game. In other words, there's no such thing as a friendly game to our readers. It's dead in earnest. Tennis Week is full of the game's business news, personal player interviews, up-to-date tournament draws, close-up picture flashes, inside stuff you can't get anywhere else. Tennis Week is read first because we come out first. Tennis Week is serious reading about serious tennis.
The emotions are high. You're hot. It's pressure. It's like a war without bullets.
We have some of the hottest coaches in the game. To switch antiperspirants and try new advanced formula Degree.
Body heat activated. Let's try it and see.
As your body heat rises, Degree now releases even more protection when you need it most.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to switch.
Just keeps you dry.
It certainly worked for me.
Switch to the antiperspirant that's body heat activated.
In the heat of the moment. That's how confidence has got to be there.
New advanced formula Degree. Now with an even higher degree of protection.
Welcome back as we are now at the crucial stage of this second set. Agassi has got to hold serve to get into a tiebreak. Martin would love to break and move into a third set. No call.
Right smack on that center line.
Ace number 3. This match now over an hour and a half long. Good.
That's only the 9th time Agassi has come to net. He's won 7 of those. You see Martin serve and volley style getting in there 40 times. Agassi, as usual, with very high conversion ratio.
Agassi was responding to Martin, who's laughing about that last point.
Just wide. Agassi going for it all out wide. Agassi with the two-hander, and so Andre Agassi now 3 quick points, 1 point away from the tiebreak.
Paid attendance tonight was 7,113. Saturday semis.
Go long, and so Andre Agassi holds. We will have the tiebreak at 6 games all. Agassi with the first set, 6-4. Todd Martin has been extremely successful this year in tiebreaks as we look at their records, but obviously Agassi has not played as many. He's done pretty well too.
He doesn't get to the tiebreakers as much. But Martin winning 75%, 15 of 20. Let's see if he can make it 16. Oh, a let call.
Oh, what a time for that call. It would have been a clean ace down the center.
What I like about Martin is there's no reaction whatsoever. He's just totally unflappable.
Big shot on that approach.
Agassi guessed to the spot. Mishit the return.
Martin. And now Agassi getting into a little discussion with Norm Christ.
Does he not like Norm Christ generally?
I think he's just Agassi. That's a sign that Agassi is on edge right now.
Full swing. Big chance for Martin.
The things Martin does so well is take those mid-court balls and just slash the backhand. That sets up the easy forehand volley.
What they call a swing volley. They tell you never to do a swing volley, but boy, he sure does.
Oh, yes. Agassi all over that short forehand. Drills it cross court.
Martin with the return. He's short, and Agassi has the open court. He could go either way because the ball sat up at the service line. Not a tough shot because the first serve did it for him.
Ooh, another big serve, but it's a net court. He'll have 2. They're having a laugh. Not sure he heard it.
I don't think he thought it was a let. Laughing at the referee there.
Yes.
Martin put it right back in the same spot, and Agassi guesses perfectly.
Martin goes back to the well once too often. Agassi leaning that way. Short take back, and he goes cross court.
Something bothered Martin there.
Well, I know that last return bothered him, that's for
just
sure.
As he went to toss the ball up, he turned away. I think he was sweating off his forehead that was bothering him, dripping.
No call. Andre thought it was wide. Martin gives a wave to that far linesman there. Big call for him. It's number 16.
Now, there is no way that Norm Chris is going to overrule here.
What did Martin?
This is how it works. He takes your ace away, and then he gives me an ace, and then he gives you an ace.
Andre telling everybody how it works out there.
Maybe you called this line, and then you went there. Either way, it's 2-3.
Easy. Either way, it's still 2-3. That is just too good.
I think you're right, Tim. I think it shows Agassi's very on edge and a little nervous when he gets like that. He has a point, but so what? I mean, linesmen are calling him both ways for both guys.
Well, he knows that Todd Martin is good in tiebreakers. He knows that Martin is very much into this match, and Martin has the weapons to beat Agassi. That's why Agassi's on edge. There's not many guys that can hit from the backcourt with Agassi, and Todd Martin is one of them.
Big hand for both players now. This crowd really into this match.
Well, the quality has been so high, particularly in the tiebreaker.
Surprising error there on a second serve kicker. He just kind of attacked it. I think he was coming in and he mishit it. On serve in the tiebreaker.
3-4, Martin to serve.
He says, I'm not going to make that call on a big critical point like that on overrule, and he's right.
If he's not going to make one on that ball, he's not going to make it any, because that's in the line closest to Norm.
Exactly.
3-5. Agassi pulls it. That is wide. Slow call on the sideline, but the call clearly out.
But Agassi now has the mini break when he got that last point 2 ago, and he can serve out this match at 5-4 with 2 bullets. Let's see how Martin tries to return. 2 points from match for the #1 seed. And there was a kicker. He totally changed that pace.
86 miles per hour, Donald. Took a lot off that ball. So now Andre Agassi has arrived at match point, and listen to this crowd. On the center was not wide. Called long. Second serve. Fights it off.
He jumped on that second ball, same as before, but he hit a winner as opposed to a net cord. He jumps into that with a backhand. Agassi slow moving to his right. Didn't expect it. He starts late. He really looks slow when he is late off the mark.
Todd Martin now with a chance to get even. Down 5-6. Still match point.
Agassi will tee off on the second serve.
Agassi, unbelievable shot on match point. Drills the two-hander.
And he's so sharply angled, Barry. You're rallying from the baseline and bang, it's over.
So out of the blue, Agassi hits that two-hander. This crowd on its feet that gave a tremendous second set, Tim.
Yeah, remarkable second set. They had that long game with 6 deuces that Martin hung in there. Hats off to Todd Martin. He really pushed the #1 player in the world to the edge. But as you said, Donald, that amazing backhand for Agassi to win the match.
So on match point, Agassi from way behind the court, Donald, drills the two-hander.
All right, he's got a second serve here. He plays the ball back short on the service line. Now Agassi with a second shot. Good depth. Martin backing up. Now watch Agassi. He hits the sharply angled ball, and that's your match. Suddenly from nowhere, he explodes.
And so Agassi a winner here in straight sets. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
When sports cream, when arms are sore, when legs ache, when muscles hurt. Why sports cream? Massaging sports cream in brings fast pain relief. No medicine-y smell, no odor. Why sports cream? Because it works.
Best matches of the week. Semifinal action as Andre Agassi, the #1 seed, wins it in straight sets 6-4 and 7-6. And now let's look at our ITT Sheraton point of the match. It was match point as Andre Agassi played a brilliant point here on match point.
What's amazing from Agassi's point of view is that he took a very difficult ball and just boom, hit a winner from well behind the service line. Martin playing this point very smart, good depth, but it's this shot that catches Martin totally off guard.
And you know, Tim, watching him here, the way he, watch him on isolation. You couldn't make that shot today without a two-hander. You have to have a two-handed whip-like shot to get the angle. Here it is, right here. No one-handed player can make that shot so crisply, and he's now won the match.
So Andre Agassi wins it in straight sets. A brilliant effort, and now we look at the draw as Agassi has moved into the finals. The #1 and 2 seeds will face off tomorrow. Agassi going against Edberg. Stay with us. We'll be back from the Legg Mason in a moment.
Unique, with an inner fire and an irresistible natural beauty. There's no mistaking a brilliance that lasts forever. Surprise her with a diamond beyond all her expectations.
The day before our big trip, Frank announced we had to stay at hotel chains.
Are you serious, Frank?
Absolutely not, Frank.
No way, Frank. The expected boring cookie-cutter hotels courtesy of Frank's new budget.
But ITT Sheraton was no ordinary hotel chain. But we decided not to tell Frank that.
It's grueling, Frank.
It's a tough job, Frank, but somebody's got to do it.
ITT Sheraton. Our world revolves around you. Does it seem as though the world is being drawn together? Or have you simply discovered a better way to get around? Air France. Ask the world of us.
So Andre Agassi moves into the finals, a straight set win, 6-4 and 7-6 over Todd Martin, the number 4 seed.
National Car Rental gives you what other companies don't. A choice. Choose your car right on the lot from the car class you've reserved. It's that easy. National, we keep you moving in the car you choose.
Let's go courtside now where Linda Pence is with Andre Agassi. Linda?
Well, thank you, Barry. Andre, would it be fair to say that tonight was probably the hardest you had to work here all week?
Oh, yeah, there's no question. You know, I think I went from a Haddad who's ranked 100 in the world to Todd Martin who's capable of beating anybody on a good day, you know, and we saw him playing some big points real well, and I think that was a reflection of the quality of tennis out here. We kept kind of raising each other's level, and at the end I finally snuck away.
You had a very late night here last night. Was it tough to bounce back from that and be ready for today?
Actually, you know, it was easy to, simply because it is such a miserable thing to wait around for 4 or 5, sometimes 6 hours at the courts, get out here with the heavy humidity after the rainstorm, and then play till 12:30 at night. You know, it's frustrating. So when you come out here on a regular schedule, it actually feels, you know, the same that it should, every bit like it should feel, but it feels extra good because you know that what it could be. So I felt like I adjusted well and out here feeling good and felt ready to play.
Tomorrow you have your chance to win the first title since becoming number 1 in the world. Any extra incentive or pressure tomorrow?
You know, I just want every match, you know, really, and I like to win tournaments. It's what it's about, to come out here and to tough out a field with great baseliners the next day against a great serve and volleyer like Stefan, and it's just a big accomplishment to do that. I mean, being number 1 isn't going to last very long if I don't win tournaments, so I certainly, you know, want to win for that reason. But as long as I'm having a good time out here and competing hard, I think I can win my share.
Tomorrow you're playing someone who's been number 1, Stefan Edberg. You know about comebacks. He's on one, he hopes. How do you feel about that match?
Well, he's definitely going to give me a target. You know, he's the kind of guy that's going to, you know, sound the horn. He's coming in, you know, and if I'm hitting my shots, I'm going to have to hit them very accurately. And if I'm passing well, returning well, and passing well, I think I'll come out on top tomorrow. But if you're a little bit off, a guy like that can just really chew you up. I mean, there's no question he has played better in his career. This isn't the best year that he's having, so I think that, you know, if I'm really playing sharp, I could maybe get on top of him early. But if I let him into the match, he's been a champion, and he is a champion, and he knows what it takes to win, and he believes he can win. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. You'll see all around tennis.
Well, we'll certainly be watching it tomorrow. Thanks for joining us tonight. All right, Andre. Back up to you, Barry.
All right, Linda. Well, a very thoughtful Andre Agassi, the winner here in straight sets, 6-4 and 7-6. He'll take on Stefan Edberg tomorrow, and we'll have it for you on Prime Tennis. Stay with us.
Hi everyone, I'm Fred Heumann for Live on Pass. If you missed our show Friday night, well, you missed, of course, talk about the Lions and the opening of training camp, the Tigers and their losing ways on the West Coast, and about the British Open. And what a terrific golf shot we were able to show you on Friday a little bit after it happened. Is that something or what? More coming up this Monday, Live on Pass. Steve Garagiola returns to this chair. More Lions football to talk about. Join us then for Live on Pass.
Baseball, it's just a game, as simple as a ball and bat, and yet as complex as the American spirit it symbolizes. It's a sport, a business, and sometimes almost even religion. This is a game for all America, this baseball, a game for boys and girls, for the young and old, and for the young at heart.
Ernie Harwell on baseball, Sunday night on Pass Sports, the source for Michigan sports.
You've busted your back, you've nearly drowned yourself, and your car wash is still hit or miss. Next time, use a Shawala. A Shawala wash is the fastest, easiest, most thorough car wash there is. The giant washing surface cleans your entire car in no time, with the same type of material used in professional brushless car washes. So tough, it's virtually indestructible. And look, it would take all these ordinary sponges to equal the surface washing area of one Shawala. Nothing can hold more soap. Have a van? Then you've got to have a Shawala. No climbing, no straining. The extra long handle reaches even the highest vehicle. Cleans wheels and tires in seconds. There's never been a better wash than a Shawala wash. It's only $19.95, so order yours now.
Call toll-free 1-800-253-8005 or send $19.95 plus shipping and handling to Shawala, P.O. Box 4943, Department A, Omaha, Nebraska. For fastest delivery, use your credit card and call 1-800-253-8005 now.
The Legg Mason Tennis Classic on Prime has been brought to you by De Beers, a diamond is forever. By ITT Sheraton, for 75 years, the one to follow. And by Air France. Once again, our final score, Agassi winning in straight sets, 6-4 and 7-6 in the tiebreak. And tomorrow we will have the championship match, the number 1 and 2 seeds going at it, Agassi against Edberg. And you heard Agassi, he has a lot of respect for Stefan Edberg. What a match that should be. Check your local listings. We'll have it for you on Prime. And 15 feet behind the baseline.
Agassi toweling off back there is going to take a lot of time. Stefan up early, ready to serve.
And it catches the net. Unbelievable finish.
Agassi looks so tired he could hardly walk up there. But Edberg made 3 errors in that last game to let Andre hold on. So one great shot by Andre Agassi, the backhand we showed.
This was a true war of attrition. Really one of the great matches I've seen in 1995. And kudos to both players. But Agassi showed a lot of stuff down the stretch.
It does not get much better than that competitively. Both players absolutely spent in this unbelievable heat here in Washington. And so Andre Agassi wins it in 3, 6-4, 2-6, 7-5. Another look at match point now as Edberg spins the serve in.
And Edberg hits a quick forehand on the second hit into the middle of that net. And there's Brooke Shields' reaction.
It has been
I'd say she's involved in these matches.
It's been a longer afternoon for Brooke Shields and Brad Gilbert. 6-4, 2-6, 7-5. Agassi, the 1995 Legg Mason champion. What a match. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
America's best, reaching for gold. The 1995 U.S. Olympic Festival.
The Olympic Festival continues tonight at 8 on Pass Sports.
Check out the finest action from the hottest sport around the world and get the latest from the finest players on the tour. The IBM ATP Tour Highlight Show.
Keep up with the action along the ATP Tour every week on Pass Sports.
The greatest names in tennis are back. Jimmy Connors, Bjorn Borg, Guillermo Vilas, and more in hot tournament competition with big money at stake. It's the $3 million Champions Tour.
Can't get better tennis than you're seeing right now.
Caliber player, I think it's been fantastic.
These are the entertainers.
I'm pretty excited that they're coming here.
It's the Minute Champions, July 27th through the 31st at the Fairlane Club in Dearborn, 313-436-3007.
The Legg Mason Tennis Classic on Prime has been brought to you by De Beers, a diamond is forever. by ITT Sheraton, for 75 years, the one to follow. And by Air France. Well, a huge crowd and a sellout packed house here as both players totally spent, 120 degrees, and we have never seen such a competitive match as we have just seen between two of the great champions, two former number ones and a current number one, Andre Agassi. And so as they try and recover after this match, we're going to have a look now at our ITT Sheraton point of the match. And what a point it was as Edberg got caught, Donald and Tim, and somehow he makes this spectacular shot earlier in the match.
Well, Agassi goes for that forehand.
This point really shows the kind of scrambling tennis we saw from both players. Edberg goes between the legs and totally catches Agassi by surprise. But so much of the match was this struggle back and forth, but ultimately Agassi was to recover and come back and win the match.
So that was our ITT Sheraton point of the match. Again, the final score, 3 sets. Andre Agassi, the number 1 seed, winning it 6-4, 2-6, and 7-5. We will have more tennis for you later this summer, August 4th through 6th, on the UCLA campus out in Los Angeles, the Infinity Open. Check your local listings. We'll have it for you on Prime Tennis. Once again, Andre Agassi, the champion here. What an effort, but what a tremendous effort from his opponent today, Stefan Edberg. Agassi the winner as we look one more time. And so for Tim Mayotte and Donald Dell, I'm Barry McKay saying we'll see you in Los Angeles. Good afternoon, everybody.